Mr. President, distinguished delegates.
የዓለም ጸጥታ አዋኪና ለሰላም ጉዳይም መሰናክል የሆኑትን ሁሉ አይነተኛ ችግሮች እዚህ ላይ ልንጠቅሳቸው እንፈቅዳለን።
Piano Regolatore, the Master Plan, and Addis ABABAN Genocide. To look at Addis Ababa through the eyes of her children is to see a century-long cycle of trauma where the city is treated not as a home, but as a trophy for whoever holds the throne. The parallels between the fascist master plan of 1938 and the 2024 to 2026 corridor development are not merely coincidental. They share a DNA of erasure that prioritizes the ego of the state over the lives of the citizens. 1. The ideology of the tabula rasa, the blank slate. Both the fascist occupiers and the current administration share a fundamental contempt for the organic city. They view the lived-in history of the people as clutter to be cleared. Both regimes share the conviction that to build something great, the existing city must first be reset to zero. Mussolini and Le Corbusier viewed Addis Ababa as a formless mass of huts and eucalyptus. They wanted to wipe it away to build a Roman capital. Le Corbusier famously told Mussolini that the city should be treated as a blank map. The Corridor Project treats historic neighborhoods like Kazanchis and Piazza as dilapidated ruins or slums. By labeling a living community as waste, they justify the 100% erasure.
ካሳንቺስ የነበረው መልክ ዛሬ ከምናየው ጋር በእጅጉ የተራራቀ ነው። ለእይታ ማይመች፣ ለኑሮ ማይመች፣ የጠለሸ፣ የቆሸሸ፣ የሸተተ በብዙ መልኩ ለሰው ልጅ ምቹ ማይባል ከባቢ ነበር። ያ የሆነበት ዋነኛው ምክንያት ረዘም ላለ ጊዜ ሰዎች በእቅድ ሳይሆን በዘፈቀደ በላዩ ሲደራረቡ ሲኖሩ የተፈጠረ ሰፈር ስለነበረ በቂ የሆነ ስፔስ በቂ የሆነ መሰረተ ልማት አልነበረው። በተለይ ከሰማይ ላይ ሆኖ ካሳንቺስ ሲታይ አዲስ አበባ ውስጥ ከሚያስፈሩ ሰፈሮች መካከል የሚጠቀስ ነው።
ለምን እዚሁ ካዛንቺስ አሰሩላቸውም ነበር ይላሉ። ያን ማድረግ አይቻልም። ምክንያቱም ቦታ ያስፈልጋል ለመስራት። ሰው ሳይነሳ አካባቢ ሳይጸዳ ቤት ሊሰራ አይችልምና የሆነች አንድ መንደር ሳይሆን ሙሉ ካዛንቺስ ስለሆነ የምናነሳው በኮሪደር ልማት የሚሰሩ ስራዎች
ምክንያት አጥር ለማ እነኚህ ሁሉ ናቸው ተጫጫው አእምሮ ራሱ እንዴት ይበራል በጨለማ ውስጥ።
Just like fascist architects described Addis Ababa as a formless village that needed to be purged to make way for Roman order, current officials label historic districts dilapidated, substandard, and shameful, using the language of modernization to justify the total leveling of entire city blocks. To reset a city to zero is an act of state violence. It tells the residents that their history, their generations of life, their ADDIS, community insurance, and their local economies are worth nothing compared to a 3D architectural render of an egomaniac genocidal leader. 2. The architecture of dominance, wide roads and barren fields. The piano regolatore is used as a weapon to replace human-scaled neighborhoods with sterile, monumental voids. This table contrasts the two fascist projects. The fascist master plan of 1938 used monumentalism, streets 40 to 90 meters wide to host military parades and project power. The corridor, massive asphalt expanses with forced 10-meter setbacks for global city aesthetics. Small shops and homes were cleared to create clear sightlines for the state in 1938. And neighborhoods like Kazanchis are replaced by green parks that lack the shade of memory today. The logic was security and control. Wide roads made it easier for the state to monitor and move troops then. It is now surveillance and image. High visibility zones designed for the 24-hour economy and state optics. 3. The displacement cycle, from piazza to mercato and beyond. The mercato tactic is the systematic removal of the indigenous economic heart to the periphery. The fascists moved the native market from Arada to the outskirts, ADDIS Katema/Mercato, to cleanse the center for Europeans. The current government has cleared Piazza and Kazanchis, pushing the children of ADDIS to far-flung condominiums, breaking their ties to the city center. The threatening announcement of moving the remaining ADDIS is the realization of the fascist dream of a city center entirely devoid of its original inhabitants. 4. Erasure as evidence tampering. The masonry of Kazanchis and all old Addis Ababa were not just houses, they were witnesses. Those buildings were physical evidence of the fascist war crimes, monuments to a period of suffering and the eventual Ethiopian victory. By destroying the physical fabric of 1936 to 1941, the current government is not just building a new ADDIS, it is tampering with the evidence of the city's past. When the walls are gone, the story of the city can be rewritten by the state without any physical witnesses to contradict them. 5. The public shaming, a language of cruelty. The most painful commonality is the rhetoric of insult. The fascists bragged about civilizing a barbaric city, publicly mocking the local lifestyle. The current regime publicly shames residents for their poverty and decayed homes, using televised success stories to drown out the cries of those whose heritage was leveled in a single afternoon. 6. Conclusion. The century of suffering. From 1938 to 2026, the children of ADDIS have watched as their city was treated like a map to be redrawn, rather than a home to be protected. The 100% erasure of Kazanchis is the final signature on a fascist plan that was drafted 88 years ago. The roads are wide, the lights are bright, but the city is a widow. She has been stripped of her jewelry, her history, and her children, her people.
They make a desert and call it peace. They make a barren field and call it progress.